if I would think of the influences on myself, they'd be and even since the mid '80s, it'd be Tom Waits and definitely Nick Cave and stuff. But I mean, in general, I mean, I think Nirvana and the Smiths, the Strokes have maybe influenced more bands in the past, 10 years maybe than even the artists I mentioned did in that whole 25 years. But artists right now that'll be hugely influential, that's really hard to tell. Probably Arcade Fire, they already have been. Just like there are so many people, wanting to start bands because of that band, and bands that just inspire, the irrational sort of, not irrational, it's totally rational, but that visceral connection that people have with bands, like they do with the Smiths, or Nirvana. I think Arcade Fire have that, that sort of direct connection to people's hearts. So I think they'll continue to be hugely influential for a long time. Other bands right now, it's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have any influence at all. I don't know if I want us to, but I think honestly, Cat Power, in an odd way, I think has been an unbelievably influential artist of the past, 20 years or 15 years. I can't remember when her first record came out, but she was actually, Sean Marshall's stuff was a huge influence, I think, on our band in some ways, at least on me. Yeah, I will say I'll go with Cat Power and Arcade Fire will be remembered deeply into the future, into the deep, deep future. We've thought of it. We have not. We have no. We have talked a little bit, and I think we're at a point. Well, I think we say this every time we start thinking about making a record, is that we want to throw away the playbook and start from scratch with some completely other angle or something, or we're well aware of the fact that if you start stepping in your own footsteps, you begin to bore people and you bore yourself, and it's not like we have reinvented ourselves necessarily over the course of our career. I mean, we've evolved, but I think we're desperately going to try to find approaches to songs and songs that we haven't written before, that sound refreshing to us. And I think we're all of the philosophy it's better to take a chance like that and to flop than it is to kind of repeat yourself. I mean, like the album when we made Boxer, it was very different than the album before that, and I think that was, for us, it was the only thing we could do. We had to do something different, and it was the best thing for us as for our career. I think it keeps people guessing. It's why Radiohead is still the greatest band in the world. It's because you just don't know what they're going to do next time. You might not like every record, but you're excited to see if they're going to any weird new discoveries. And so I think we're aware of the fact that if you don't evolve, that you quickly become boring and are forgotten. So, and we have we have a real fear of being forgotten. It took us forever to get noticed, and now fear of sucking is probably one of our greatest motivating impulse things that's what pushes us to try to write new and better songs. Just the fear of writing bad songs, and I would say also the fear of not knowing the difference, and that's terrifying. When you don't even know if what you're doing is any good or not. And that can happen. It happens to every artist, I think. I mean, the greatest ones who put out some Neil Young, Bob Dylan, they've all put out, David Bowie, they've all put out records that are horrible. Some terrible records. So and they're the some of the greatest artists. So not knowing the difference between good and bad, I think, is our greatest fear.